All right, here we go. I've been waiting for this for a while. Wow, that's it. Huh. What do you guys think is in here? Probably based on the title of the video, you have a good idea. I cannot believe they have 200 trees in this one box. This is crazy. It's probably 3.5 or so feet tall. Badger's liking it. There we go, 200 trees. We need to get this bad boy up to the farm. They did say these trees should be planted as soon as possible. So not gonna try and waste too much time. Don't want you getting out there, buddy. I guess for those of you wondering maybe how we got the name Stagger Farms, this is Badger, and somewhere over here, that is Trax. And Trax and Badger equals Stagger. So anyway, we're gonna get these going out to the farm. We'll see you out there, and I'm also gonna pull up the total plan so that you guys can have a quick overview of where we're going to be putting these trees and go from there. So for those of you that don't know, this is the plan, the habitat plan that Jeff Sturgis from Whitetail Habitat Solutions gave us. If you didn't see that first video, again, implementing a Whitetail Habitat Solutions plan, go ahead and check that out. I'll link it right here on the top of the screen. But I wanted to bring this up so I could show you a little bit better on where we are going to place the trees, why we are going to place the trees, because, when I show you some images or video of us planting them, there's not going to be really too much from a grand scheme of things for you to see in one little area. So here's an overview. Again, just to reiterate, we have, of course, the woods back here. This is that old little food plot. If you saw the last or 2 videos ago on hinge cutting, I mentioned that a little bit, but it's not going to be a food plot anymore. We're going to have the trail and this hunting plot going to the holding plot here and back, and hopefully a corridor, which we did also on the hinge cutting video, which I can link as well. That started right here. There's that alleyway that we did that hinge cutting video on, and then later in the summer we're going to come back and finish those. But so for the trees, where are we going to be looking at planting these trees? We have I know I already told you 200, but we have 150 Norway spruce, 2 to 3 feet, and also another 50 Austrian pine. And the main reason for 200 is because we simply ordered these from Engel's Nursery over in Fenville, Michigan, and their minimum order is 200 trees. I will say that, initially these are a little bit smaller than I would like, but at the same time, they're much cheaper to get, a little bit younger, and they're going to take a few years, of course, to be anything as far as cover for the deer and a windbreak, if you will. So anyway, since we are no longer going to have food here in this small plot, I'm thinking we're going to have at least 10 in one circle, or in some sort of line, and another 10 over here, and we're going to have some switchgrass kind of taking up a little bit more room in both corners. And I'm also thinking about putting one of those lines, or maybe an additional line, to kind of the woods. You can see it does actually create a fairly narrow pinch point. It's only probably 15 feet or so, but maybe something to block that also, so it's a little bit more secluded and there's not that opening, as the rest of this will just be like new successional growth with a switchgrass border, as you can see. Additionally, I might add some pines here, 5 to 10 pines. I don't want to get too close, as our access trail follows this line, and then we do need to kind of sneak behind some brush to get into a stand right here. And if they're too close, I really don't want to accidentally, have sort of clink or something, or some noise when we're climbing the ladder and bust deer that are too close. So I'm going to debate this. If at all, I'm going to put some right here in this very far corner, and then, like I said, in this old food plot that still has some forage in it. From there, you can see this peninsula we have. One of my main goals is to extend the woods out and create that doe and fawn bedding. We actually last year had a fawn run out right here. Was the first fawn I had seen on the property and kind of run through this field. So that is neat, and really this is very thick, which is great. But this basically is barely anything, and that's why we'll have the switchgrass border. We're gonna feather these edges, which will be another video later on in the summer. And we do also, which is not shown here, have a couple of switchgrass pockets that's in this new successional growth as well. Quite a bit of room here between this food plot trail, so quite a few groups of the trees we're going to put over in just pockets around here. Plenty of bedding, plenty of room for us to walk through this switchgrass, which I'm going to mow, through the switchgrass and not really bust deer over here, especially in the second year. When we get to go take a look at how that's going to come up in the second year, it should be much taller and screened very well. We're also going to drop a couple of trees on this island. But not to go back too much into the plan, also on this side, same thing. I do have a couple pockets, and we're going to plan on putting probably groups of, I'm not positive, but 6 to 10 or so trees, and just kind of scatter those around. Another one of my goals, similar to this pinch point, is right here. Even though it's quite sandy, apparently the Austrian pine, even though it might not grow quite as fast, they both should grow fairly fast. It does a little bit better in the sandy soils, the Austrian pine. So for this area in here to kind of close off some of these gaps, and this gap between both sides of the property, I'll probably be using the Austrian pine in that area. Just tolerates a little bit more dryness in the soil. These used to be right in here, two kind of entryways into this field for the farmer, but we're going to be just filling it in with switch and totally covering it. So I might also, maybe block a little bit with there. But outside of extending the woods and creating more doe and bedding in this area, I want to do the exact same thing off of this main holding plot, if you will. So again, bordered in switch, new successional growth. I don't think we have any pockets in here, but what I'll do is kind of just create a couple areas, maybe 5 to 6 groups of trees in this area. So hopefully they'll also be bedding in this area. And again, we'll be walking all the way over here and all the way over here as to hopefully not spook anything that would be bedded. In addition, we can hinge or fell or whatever and just create some edge feathering along here just to make this a totally additional bedding area. So we're really going to be increasing this whole area, hopefully bringing those does and fawns out farther and farther to create more room for bucks and also for deer to come from neighboring properties back in the morning. Some of these rut stands or morning stands, depending on how much pressure we want to put back there. This is still pretty much mainly cover. I don't think I'm going to be putting too many trees here. The farmer's going to have corn. This actually won't be a little food plot. It'll just be corn. Kind of like a destination plot, I guess, if you will, if they choose to go that way. So couple pockets, we will have those, but other than that, this will be a great screen for us to walk this way, get to our access, or walk this way and follow the switchgrass path that we're going to have all the way down the edge. The other reason we don't want trees out this way or out this way is because we don't want deer bedding close to the access. So I even had a couple pockets that I took away that I thought were just a little bit too close to the access, just in case they do decide to bed there. I wanted everything a little bit closer to the food plot and a little bit farther away. I try to take a more realistic stance on, how far we need to be to not spook deer. So I hope that gives you a better idea on where we're going to be planting the trees. We're going to have some more footage to kind of show you how it's going in the process. And even though I don't see it being too complicated, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I look forward to referencing this video in the future and seeing how the trees grow. All right, guys, it's about 3 o'clock. We got 200 trees strapped to the ATV and a shovel, and let's see if we can get this done before dark. We just got out here. I wanted to show you the unboxing just in case anyone's looking at possibly ordering from Engel's. They're on the far west side of Michigan. Again, Fenville, it's like near Saugatuck if anyone's over there. I'm not, but actually shipping was fairly reasonable. I think it's like 18% of the order. So depending on how much you're getting and stuff like that, it can be convenient if you're not taking the time to drive any decent distance. But I wanted to at least possibly go through the packaging, just see how it is, see what you guys think. I'm not sure if you can see that there. Pretty small box for 200 trees. Got some kind of plastic wrap, maybe to keep like moisture in the roots or something. I'm pretty sure they're going to be in like bundles of 15 or 20. I think it depends on the size. I don't know how we're going to take some out at a time. Have to figure that out, I guess. Holy moly, we're losing them. We're losing them. Okay, so if you can see here, it looks like they're rubber banded bundles together. There's roots on both ends. So what I might have to do is kind of take a bundle, do it, put the rest back. But packaged fairly well. I'm not sure if this is maybe for moisture, kind of a wet sawdust it seems. But again, these just came in, I just showed you guys that, and they said to get these into the ground as soon as you could. So we're doing everything I can. I'm here by myself, so we'll see how long this takes. And we're gonna do our first 20 or so in this small food plot area. So these also have a little tag, green tag. I'm not sure how well you can see that. It's probably upside down, but it does say the 2 to 3 foot spruce. So they are actually labeled if you take a look. This is one bundle here with the rubber band. Not sure if it's better to tear it or just rip it off. I'm trying to be, there we go. Probably don't want to hurt the roots too much, so just kind of breaking the tag and the band, pick all that up, and then see what one tree kind of looks like. So again, this is a 2 to 3 foot Norway spruce. See the roots there on the bottom? Whoops, falling apart now. So it looks like, yeah, there's probably 20 or so to a bunch. And so I'll do a couple shovels deep and I'll get these in the ground. Another thing I'm slightly worried about is this overgrowth. I'm probably gonna have to come in with some kind of weed whip, make sure that these keep getting enough sunlight because they are a full sun tree. I know the spruce is, and I'm pretty sure that the pine is as well. So bear that in mind. I guess this will be a good test for all of us over the next couple of years, or hopefully find out sooner. But I'm gonna grab some of the areas where maybe I can come in and weed whip and just make sure they get enough sunlight. So, all right guys, so we got the first 10 done. I just wanna show you real quick, and then I'm just gonna have at it until I can't do it anymore. It is a little more work to fill in the dirt kind of delicately than I thought, of just like kicking it in, which I don't know, maybe I could do that, but I'm just trying to be a little more cautious. But it's only 2 shovels to really get you, you know, for each tree. But this is the first 10 I'm gonna show you real quick. You can kind of see one there, one there, one there, and I really just did about every 6 or so feet, and I just staggered them. There, there, and I think this is the last one right here. And they look, you know, oh, sorry, a little muddy. They look pretty good. Some might be leaning a little. It's almost hard to tell with this growth. So just gonna have to keep an eye out, make sure that they get enough sun, and make sure we don't spray on them. Most likely, I have not studied what herbicides would kill a spruce, but we're gonna be coming in and at least spraying the border of this for switchgrass with glyphosate and 2,4-D, so that could be a big worry. But I'm not gonna put any near any switchgrass, because also the shade will kill the switchgrass. So make sure that, you know, they are a little bit apart for sure. So I'm gonna do one more row, like I said, and I'm gonna check in with you guys when I'm done and let you know how many I got done today. Little intermission. Hopefully you can hear me. I got the media mod on, but it's a little windy today. I don't think that's affecting the planting. It's almost 5 o'clock. I've done about 80. It's not crazy hard. Maybe go over some pointers that I'm learning, being that you definitely want to put the dirt after you dig, you know, a few shovels right next to the hole, so it's easy to push in. My back and neck are killing me. That'd be a good reason to have someone else here. What else? I've spaced them, I don't think I went over a little more than a shovel, so about 6 feet. And I'll give you a good example of an easier to see group right here. And you can kind of see this is the middle peninsula I was talking about when I went over the strategy, and you can see some of the different rows of trees. I don't know if you can see that right there. And that's basically one side done. You know, I've done 60 over here. I'll do probably a little bit more over there, since it's a little bit wider to the access trail. You can see, well, you can't really see, but there's a ground blind over there, and the food plot's going to come right through here and connect. So plenty of space for these deer to bed in here, and we are walking past in the woods there. So it should look good. Falling apart. Turkeys were everywhere when I came out, which is a good sign. So it's just before 7:30. We are just wrapping up. So right around 4.5 hours by myself, 200 trees. If that gives you any idea. Probably wouldn't recommend it or do it again if I had the option. Pretty sore in the back and neck. It's back-breaking work. If anyone tells you different, they're probably lying. But first time planting trees, not a ton of experience. The pine had a little bit different of a root. Now I kind of separated the spruce in the middle field, if you remember, and I did the Austrian pine more towards the southern end, which is the bottom of the screen. And the root in the pine was just more like cylindrical, straight down, and I had to dig a little deeper. And so the first time I dug for those, I was thinking they'd be more like the spruce. And so just kind of be on the lookout for different root systems, I guess, if you're like me and you've never planted trees before. But other than that, everything went pretty well. We'll see how many live. I do have to say and give a shout out to the Engel's Nursery. Everything was great. I didn't have one tree that was missing roots or anything like that. Everything at least had a fairly decent, what seemed like a root ball and whatnot. So I'm thinking it should be pretty promising. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Any questions, leave it in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button.